decided to give you a little living room scenery this evening. This content is pertaining to Bill and Camille Cosby. Online is the source. Now, know these are allegations. Do not know if it has been confirmed, but Radar Online has gotten information from someone close to the family, and I'm going to read you this information. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $ Big Angie, 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Bill Cosby's wife, Camille, still has control of his fortune, which was one time worth a reported $400 million. Sources connected to the famous family told RadarOnline.com that Bill and Camille are struggling financially, and she has the power of attorney over his assets and estate, meaning she technically has the right to do what she wants with his fortune. Very interesting. When it comes to assets, everything is under Camille, an insider said, adding that she was granted power of attorney when her husband was serving 3 years in Pennsylvania prison for a 2004 sexual assault of Temple University executive Andrea Constant. The comedian's health became an issue when he was in prison. Bill underwent 2 life-sustaining surgeries in 2019 to clear blockage in his left and right carotid arteries. His blood pressure also became a concern. The Bill Cosby Show star seemingly deteriorating health while inside prison was the reason why they decided to put Camille in charge, RadarOnline.com was told. The insider shared that the plan was to remove her as the power of attorney after he was released from incarceration in 2021 when his sexual assault conviction was overturned, but it never happened. RadarOnline.com reached out to Bill's rep, Andrew Wide, who told us no comment. Our insider also alleged that Bill and Camille are in financial turmoil. As civil lawsuits against the 86-year-old comedian piled up, we're told the couple has been liquidating their assets, taking out second mortgages, and selling their beloved artwork. Sources share that Bill and Camille have been at odds over their household staffers who allegedly haven't been paid regularly. Very interesting. One connected insider alleged that Bill and Camille have not paid their staff in some time. The actor telling his wife they can't live that lifestyle anymore. He allegedly wants to fire some of their employees, but Camille won't budge, alleging she can't bear to function without their chef or staffers. The source said Bill is frustrated over the matter, revealing it's become a major issue in their home. Very interesting. Let's read some of the comments. Thank you for joining me, everybody, in the chat. Chi-Town Chef says 23 hours ago, you people want him to be so broke and struggling. A lot of exclamation points. It's not going to happen. He's going to die rich than all y'all haters. The honest one replied a day ago, I don't believe for a minute that DC is short on money. He's too savvy with money, as he once told a media mogul to hand sign every check that goes out instead of using a rubber stamp. And I also heard that Oprah Winfrey said the same thing. Always sign your own checks. I'm sure a few famous people wish they had done that. Okay. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Somebody says, do you honestly think they have all that money? He will die a broke man. Let me say this briefly, and I'm going to check out of here. Thank you all so much for joining me. I do not know if these allegations are true, if they're struggling, if he's trying to liquidate assets and or artwork, properties, if he has money hidden, offshore accounts. Who knows? He's never going to tell it, and she probably will never tell it. I do find it interesting that he didn't, if this is true, get power of attorney once he was released from prison. Maybe he didn't think about it at the time, but we're now into 2023, about to come out of this year. So what's the deal with him not telling her, hey, I need to get everything back in my name? Now, is it because he has failing health? He just decided not to fight the issue when he got out? Hey, I'm not well. I might leave before her anyway. I'll just go ahead and leave everything in her name, but I'll still try to have some type of control. Don't know, because we don't know if the allegations are true. That's why I put in this title, allegedly. But let's say that all this is true. They are being sued, which naturally they would be, Mr. Cosby, that is, and she's an entity of Mr. Cosby because she is married to him. we know how it goes with lawsuits. You'll either settle or you'll just keep letting the letters come to your doorstep. They are elderly people near 90 years of age, so he can continue to just let it stay there unless a judge decides to intervene on behalf of these women and the people, females who are suing, and render a judgment. Okay, sir, you need to pay her, you need to pay her, you need to pay her. And like I said, if indeed he was worth 400 million 3 years ago, 5 years ago, is he worth that now? Number one, what is his worth? Number two, are there any cases currently that he has paid out a settlement to? And actually, once somebody gets wind, media of course, gets wind that he's paid a settlement here, there, whatever, then other people will say, well, I want mine as well. But then that also will bring other women out of the woodworks to say they were accosted and or want money too. All of the above. You see, this is how I look at the story. You reap what you sow in life. He admitted in depositions down in Florida, if I'm not mistaken, that he did take quaaludes, give quaaludes to women back in the day in the 70s, and then that came back to haunt him when he was charged with this charge of the 2004 incident, if I'm not mistaken. I can stand to be corrected. It was kind of like a double jeopardy clause. It was kind of like, well, he told that information during the deposition, but it wasn't supposed to be used against him. And that's kind of like what this Keefe D and Tupac business is. I tell you this, this, and this, but you don't bring me up on charges for this, this, and this. So I don't know legal wranglings to say, does that only apply in that jurisdiction or totality of any jurisdiction, the information that you give pertaining to a crime? Because when you are confessing to a crime or your involvement in an alleged crime, you're giving information for the crime that took place in that jurisdiction. So if another jurisdiction comes with allegations of you doing this, this, and this, how does it stand against what you've already told in this jurisdiction as not to be brought up on any charges? Because I'm assuming you're signing paperwork in one jurisdiction, let's say Florida. But somebody has something against you in Pennsylvania, New York, California. Similar scenarios, let's say. Or any other scenario. How does it work that you don't face charges in another jurisdiction, but you've admitted to some type of guilt, wrongdoing over here in Florida? I'm not really up to par on these, what they call proffer deals, proffer pleas, because this seems to be what happened with Mr. Bill Cosby in Florida. And then it was an issue of him being brought up on charges of sexual assault, drugging a woman, whatsoever, when what he said in Florida wasn't supposed to be used against him, allegedly. This is all strange, strange, strange information. And then you have to ask yourself that question too, the main question. Should his case have been overturned by a higher court? Because what you have to tell yourself is the obvious. Proffer plea or not, admitting something nefarious in a deposition, you should know will come back to haunt you down the road. Because if you gave a woman quaaludes or women quaaludes in the 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever time it was that you did it, why would I think when this person comes forward to say, oh yeah, he drugged me, I drank some tea, some water, and I felt dizzy, I woke up, my clothes were off, blah, 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 then I wouldn't believe that person. When you've admitted that you've done this type of behavior 40 years ago or 50 years ago. You admitted to that. And then you say to yourself, well, legally, nobody should be able to bring that up in another case or situation. I don't know if that's legally right. Because you told some information over here in this jurisdiction. What does that have to do with somebody else's jurisdiction in another state? I don't see how they correlate. Because those other jurisdictions wouldn't have the authority to render anything pertaining to what you said over in this other place. That's the whole point of it. We have 50 states. Another state doesn't know that somebody's going to come forward and say, oh, hey, this guy touched me. Hey, this guy raped me. Hey, this guy drugged me. In, let's say, Kansas. So why is it that something happened in Kansas can't go forward in the court because of something you said in a deposition down in Florida and was offered a profit plea, or however it goes? That makes no sense because the two don't have anything to do with each other. They're not the same state. They're not the same people. They're not the same, you know what I'm saying? It's not the same people bringing forward the charge. It's very strange information to me. As far as not paying the staff, also an allegation. Why not? You have the money. If indeed she's told somebody she can't live without him, she's got to have him. She's elderly. She don't want to do anything. She wants to have somebody cook, clean, sweep, mop. Well, Camille, let's just say that this is true. If you're not paying them, why should they hang around? A job is a job. It doesn't matter what the job is. Butler, janitor, chauffeur, errand girl, errand guy. Hell no. I'm not going to work for free. And you should expect the person to work for free. Because if you're worth $300 million, you should pay your staff. Common sense. 1 second, everybody. It is what it is. You can't expect somebody to work for free. Why would somebody want to work for free? And I think a lot of people who have money and wealthy and regular people too just think that people are just going to come do something for them and not get paid. Or get paid a dignified wage. As I said, these are all allegations of them disputing over money. They're not paying the staff that work for them. And as I said, if this is true, how long has this been going on of these people not being paid? Why would you stay if you're not getting paid? Only a fool would stay and work for somebody and not get paid. Because there are no other businesses that are legit and legal where people will say, yes, I'm going to render services to you and wait for the money. It doesn't work like that. I come to your house to clean your carpet. I want a payment. 9 times out of 10, I've had to pay up front in order for the person to show up to clean the carpet, install the AC unit. Because who's going to send somebody out to work on your house and then wait for you to pay? Come on now. So it's the same thing as me coming in, being a maid, housekeeper, butler, gardener. I want my money. Pay me after my services has been rendered. And this will be a shame for these people to be damn near 90 years old, not paying staffers. Bet the lawyers were paid to defend Mr. Cosby. The allegation of them taking second mortgages, that's crazy. You're almost 100 years old. What the fuck do you need to take out a second mortgage? For what? You're already wealthy. You should own your house. Stay woke, everybody. You are already wealthy. There's no way in my right mind I'm going to sit here and think that somebody who is worth a $400 million, I don't care if it's 300, 200, it's still more than the average American has in their bank account. If you have 200 million in your bank account, 400 million, there is no way you should owe a dime on a house, a car, a boat, a yacht, a property. Number one. Number two, you become financially strapped. You should not have to go take out a second mortgage because I'm going to say it again. You own the property. You can always downsize. If you're being sued, you can downsize. 2 elderly people living in a probably nice size estate can sell that property and go find a nice little condo to live in comfortably while being sued. Have they paid out any monies recently? Do they plan to pay out any monies? There are so many people who have brought forward charges. It looks like a slew of women, probably about 30-something women, somewhere in that range, 30. Not really sure, but I remember seeing a photocopy of a bunch of women faces blurred out, and I thought, that's a lot of women. if you pay $250,000 to each one just so it'll go away, you still would have some spending change. And you've lived a full life at 86, I would assume. You came into wealth in what? Your 30s? Major wealth 40s. So you've lived a good life. You've had the best of everything. You've traveled, you bought art, been here, ate at fine restaurants, this and that. What else could you possibly need or want at 86 years of age? And it's not to say you're not supposed to desire anything because you're near 90 years of age, but you're wealthy at 90, near 90, and you've had wealth for 50, 60 years. So it should be, well, I've lived. I've had everything, done everything, been everywhere. Let's pay these people off and keep it moving. So do you all think they should pay off the people who are suing them, the women that are suing them? Do you believe most of the allegations that have come from the various women that have said they have been sexually assaulted, drugged by Mr. Cosby? And there's something terribly wrong with any type of human who feels the need to drug a woman. Let me say that for the record. And a lot of these men who have been accused of doing it, they weren't bad-looking guys. So in your mind, you're asking yourself, why are you drugging a woman to have sex with her? You can have sex with anybody. And there are women who will be a willing participant. You don't have to drug them. You don't have to get them drunk. You don't have to put anything in their drink, their tea. You just ask, hey, what's up? You want to have sex? She says yes. She doesn't say yes. It's the end of the conversation. What's the problem? Why do you need to drug somebody? It's an ego thing. I don't want to be turned down. So I'll go ahead and drug her and I'll get it anyway. But what are you getting? A lifeless body lying still. She can't talk. She can't caress you. She can't moan. She can't do anything because she's unawake. And who wants sex with an unawake person? Makes no sense. But some will say it's just as if the person was raping a woman who was alive and lucid. It's a power trip. I always say it's power and it's sex. Because a lot of men are deviant sex addicts. And that's what always came to mind to me, why a person would rape another human being. It's sexual. And I remember hearing a woman, I believe she was some type of psychologist, just talking about that young black man who was raping women and had murdered them as well in Charlottesville, Virginia. That's one thing she had mentioned in her commentary. Sexual drive, sexual need, gotta have sex. So to me, it's really probably more than just power. It is sexual because it's a sex act. Because let's be truthful, there are many ways to manipulate a human being, many ways to groom a person into doing things for self. The point is what it is you're trying to get from the person. So in drugging a person, sexually assaulting them, or sexually assaulting them without drugging them, it's still a sexual crime. You're desiring sex from and or with the person, whether they want it or not. So it is sexually driven. It is a sex crime. No matter what the perpetrator says, why they did it. She avoided. They're sick ideologies. They like sex. But that's my opinion. What will become of this elderly couple? Is this just an allegation? Is this just somebody trying to stir the pot with these old people? Who is the person that gave up this information pertaining to Bill and Camille? I'm curious. See, let's just say this is true. No such thing as friendship loyalty. Because why would you go to a tabloid and or news source or blogger, podcaster to give information that these people are fighting over money, these elderly people 2 minutes away from being in a damn nursing home, fighting over a $400 million estate, if indeed they're still worth that, don't want to pay the staffers, liquidating assets, taking out a second mortgage, and Camille's still holding the helm of this big bank account. What are you gaining by telling the world this? Because if it's true, did you do it because you're hoping that they fall, get sued, or you want sympathy for these people? And there's still people who support Bill, believe he's innocent. But my thing is, he's already admitted that he's done this behavior and gave women these type of drugs back in the day, as he said it. It was the thing people did. So that told me everything I needed to know, that 9 times out of 10, you've done this to the women who brought forward charges, that woke up dazed, didn't remember anything, clothes in disarray, felt some type of way down there privately. You did that because you've done it before. And you have to ask yourself, why would a man want to drug a woman? As I said, women give up sex freely every day. There's no need in drugging a woman. You have to have some serious self-identity issues to want to assault a lady. Period. Whether she's woke or not. This world is sick. And we'll continue to have sick people, sadists, narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths. And you don't know people. And you also have to ask yourself, what did Camille know about his behavior before he was brought up on these charges and found guilty? Did she know that he was a sadist? Did he have affairs outside children? Probably so. Why did she stay? Love and the money, clout, great lifestyle. But what is money, wealth, fancy trips, jewelry, coats, name brand purses, fancy parties, when a person doesn't have any respect for you? They don't put you up on a pedestal. And let's just say they play the role and put you up on a pedestal and wine and dine you and acting like they cared for you. They're still out here doing nefarious deeds with women and men, children. So that means they don't care about self. They couldn't care about you. They don't care about their children. They don't care about anybody because self is first. And when you're dealing with a sadist, all bets are off. There is no love. And Camille probably has known this for a long, long time, that she's been dealing with a sadist. I won't doubt it. It's just like all these other men who've been brought up on charges of the same type of crimes, ogling and fondling and sexually assaulting, groping. There were always whispers about their behavior in Hollywood. That's what's the disturbing part, is that there were whispers. Epstein, Weinstein, everybody knew. Everybody heard the stories, but nobody could do anything because these men were deemed untouchable. But you see how that ended for those two. One's incarcerated, one's dead. And Bill was lucky to be able to get out. And I'm sure his health did fail. Eyesight gone, half gone rather, heart problems. But I feel like it's payback. And sometimes it takes a while for you to get payback. I think most of us know this. You can go years with allegations against you for a multitude of sins and nothing happens. You get a slap on the wrist, citation, fine, you settle out of court, a person won't testify, won't come forward, won't tell the truth, won't call the police, and then it takes that one incident to break the house down. And that's what happens here. One case, old as it was, but it temporarily took the house down. And now we have an allegation of these two bickering over money, not paying staff, pending lawsuits. And he's been out for 2 years. And I haven't heard that he's paid anybody any more money in a lawsuit. He probably won't. He'll let it linger. And these women will look up one day and Mr. Cosby will be dead, probably before Camille. And they'll still be looking for their check. Until somebody says, oh, Mr. Cosby, you may be free, but I'm going to make your estate pay this one for your wrongdoing. Will that happen? We will see. I want to thank you for joining me. That's the latest information pertaining to the Cosbys. These are allegations. We will see if there's some truth to it. Their lawyer has not responded that these are true. The allegations are true, but if they are, it's pathetic. Because there's no way a person should be 90 years old, even being accused of not paying their own staff, even being accused of sexual assault, drugging women. And there's no way a woman should still be hanging on to an old man who's allegedly done these things. Maybe Camille wanted it all. That's why she stayed. Because she could have easily sued her husband for divorce, got a paycheck and kept it moving and lived her life. But maybe indeed she loves him and knows that he's not the best man. But she doesn't want to leave him. Oh well. Carry on. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $129 Cash App, students and church are always welcome during the live stream. You all have a wonderful week. I will be back with more stimulating content and commentary. You've been listening to The Vault XL.